Good day, human Latiosites. This is Latios Zubril, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Picross. So, let's begin. Big news, big news! I heard that someone saw a Pokemon somewhere. Alright. I guess there's a mythical Pokemon somewhere. Alright, let's do this. 14 minutes, alright. So 2 or more water types in 30 minutes. Okay, we need another water type then. Give me that blue force. Alright. And we need to use slow time at least once. Alright. Slow time. You know what? Let's go with Thunderous. Alright. And you know what? Square reveal. Let's go with, you know what? Let's go Zygarde. And I think I'll go Kyurem. I'm not going to use the freeze time, but I think we should be able to do it in half an hour. So, let's do this. We have our 2 water types. We have a slow timer. We have... Let's go! Alright. Dragonite, come through. I believe in you, Dragonite. Even though I probably shouldn't. Right in the middle. You know. Whatever, I'll take it, I'll take it. Kyurem, let's do this. Come on. Top right middle. Top right middle. Or just top, you know. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. I mean, at least we're getting these. We're getting a bunch of squares taken care of for us, and that. Are you kidding me? That is the most useless garbage I've ever seen. Okay, you know what? Whatever. Whatever, this column's done. That is right there. Alright. That would be a 1, that's a 3, that's a 1. That's the 4, the 1, and there's a 4 right here. That's a 2. Okay. Might as well use Greninja. Okay. We have, well, that's the 5, obviously. So, we don't know that. We do know that those have to be in the 3s. And we know these are 1s. Which means we have a 2 and a 1. That would be a 1, that would be a 1. Which means that those are the 3s. Okay. That's not in 10. And that's the 9. That can't be in the 2. That is the 1. That's a 3, that's a 2. That's a 2, so that's the 3. Which will fill up that column. Alright. Those are in the 4. So that is not in the 2. That needs to be a 1 somehow. That needs to be a 1. This is a 9. Hold on. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So we know that then. Alright. I'm gonna have an 8 from here. And here is our 1. Okay. We're gonna have a 4 right there. We know this needs to be in the 3. That needs to be in the 4. That is our 7. That's a 2. Alright. Well, we know those can't be in the 2. That's a 4 and that's a 2. That's the 1 that needs to be in the 2. Or does it? Yeah, because we need a 1 here, or somewhere here, because that's the 2. So there's a 3 right there. Well, we know that's not in the 4. That needs to be a 3. That needs to be in the 5. Okay. Those need to be in the 4. Those need to be in the 3. That's a 3. Well, this column's done. That needs to be a 2. So that can't be in the 10. Well, these are 1s. Same here. And we're gonna need a 1 somewhere here. In fact, that would make this a 3. Which means we're gonna need a 1 here. So that would be the 3. Then we're gonna have another 3, which means we can't have that in the 3. We know it can't be there. Okay. That needs to be in the 4. And we need... we're gonna need a 5. Well, that's a 2. Which means that's a 3. Which means we need this 1. Those are in the 5. So the 3 needs to include this. So this column's done. That's the 1, which fills up this row. 1 right there. That's the 3. That's the 2 and the 1. Alright. So that's our 10th. We need the 1 right there, which means that's not there. We need this to be a 4, which means we're done there. That's our 5th. Okay. Well, we know those aren't there. We need the 4 there. 1, 1, and 3. That to be in the 2. That's a 1. Those are connected. That's part of the 5. Either way, this needs to be blank. Which means that needs to be a 1 right there. So that needs to be in the 2. That's a 3. That's a 3. This is somehow a 4. Alright, we're gonna have... That needs to be in the 3. That needs to be in that 3. So that's a 4. 2 and a 1. We need that to be a 5. We need that 1 there. 3 and a 1. There's the 2. And there we go! With that, we have drawn and captured Genesect! So, we're gonna get a mural tile, 5 Picross, and Genesect is gonna get a nice little crown. Alright. I don't know how many more of the mythical Pokemon there are. There might be some more, I'm not positive off the top of my head. All I know is we still need 6 more mural tiles. Somehow. Alright. So, if I recall, last time we started going after Mega Evolutions with Mega Rayquaza. This time, well, we're going to continue with the Mega Evolutions, aren't we? So, we are going to go look for, well, where there's a Mega Evolution, I suppose. Alright, so it looks like here, it looks like it's going to be Banette. That's okay, so we want to use at least 1 Ghost type, use Blue Force, and do it in 15 minutes. Although it's not for a mural tile, so, I mean, I'm not as concerned there. Alright, let's bring Ghost type. I guess we can bring Gengar, because why not? Heal these guys up, because why not? Alright, Square Reveal, or you know what? Might as well bring Cross Reveal, I guess. Just because it'll actually probably help us out a little bit here, most likely. So we're gonna do this. Let's go. Let's go. Alright. Dragonite, come on. I believe in you, Dragonite. Alright. Let Gengar, you know, stop the clock for us, and you know what? Charizard does at the beginning. I should have thought about that. Infernape would be a better option. But you know what? We can consider that next time. That was not very helpful. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Alright, we have to use Blue Force, of course. Blue Force, of course. Okay. So there's our 10. We need an 8. And a 1. Okay. So, there is our 2. We need 7, 2, 1. So that's actually a guaranteed column, which is kind of useful, I suppose. Alright, so we're going to have that 3. We're going to have a 7 and a 2. Okay. That works. Which means we're gonna have this as a guaranteed, I suppose. Alright, so we have 4 and a 2, and we're gonna need a 3, so that's actually gonna finish that up for us. Alright. We're gonna need this to be in the 9, and... well... actually, we need that to be the 9, so that's the 3, because they can't be connected. Okay. We're gonna have a 2 and a 10. And we're gonna have an 11 right there. So that's in the 2. Alright, we need a 1. We're gonna need these 5s. Alright, either way, that needs to be in the 8. That's a 3. Okay. 7 right there. Column done. Alright, we need the 8. So those need to be connected. It's gonna have to go up there because it can't be connected there. Alright, so we're gonna need... this, because this needs to be there. Alright, so we have a 2, and we already filled up the 6. There's a 3, there's another 3, that's a 4. Alright, we have 6 and 2, 4, and that needs to be another 2. That's the 2 right there. 1, we need 5, and a 5. We need a 2 here. That's the 6. 2, 1, 6. 2 right there. 2 right there, that's the 3, and there we go. So with that, we have successfully Mega Evolved Banette. Alright, so Mega Banette is going to get the crown. Nice, okay. Are there any of these? Alright, well, let's see what's next. Mega evolution wise. Alright, you. We already have the mural tile from you. Alright, said at least one steel type, so I guess Metagross uses Rising Reveal. Is there anything non-legendary that gets Rising Reveal? I guess you do. Okay. You can be healed up, that is. And you can. Alright, I need Metagross, though. I guess it doesn't have to be Metagross, per se, but... that just simplifies things a little bit. I mean, I have to bring my I have to bring my pseudo-legendary quota. So, you know, whatever. Right in the middle. Right in the middle. Come on. Lopunny. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Unfortunately, that means that Blaziken is definitely going to end up overlapping, but you win some, you lose some. That's actually not bad. Not even bad. Apparently now we're a cross-reveal master. Convenient. Okay, so we have 3 right there. We're going to have a 5, which is going to include these. That's going to include all of them. That's a 7, that's a 3. Those are in the 10. And... so there's that. Alright, we need this to be a 5. And we need a 4. Alright. Those are in the 5. So that's the 11. And that's this row. Alright. There's the 3. And we're gonna need that. Oh, you can fix things for me. Forgot. Okay, that's nice. In that case, thanks for that. Alright. So there's... I meant to do that. Okay. So that's the 4. That can't be there, that can't be there. So that means we're gonna have... What am I doing? It's obviously that. So those are connect... I meant to X that out, but you know, whatever. Alright. Okay. So that's done. We have this. That's the 5. That's a 2. 1 and 1. What am I doing? It's obviously there. Because we have 3 right there. There's a 2. There's a 3. That's a 5. It's a 2 and a 4. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Gallade. Alright. So, Mega Gallade is going to get the crown. Alright. Let's move on to the next area. There is no Mega Evolution here. Convenient. Alright. Next up, I guess Gengar. Set 4 Pokemon, 3 minutes. That's gonna be fun. Well, you know what? That's okay. The question is, do I want to use Lopunny or do I want to use Dragonite? I think I'm going to use Lopunny. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to heal up Gengar quickly. And I guess Metagross now. That's nonsense. I didn't even use Metagross. Sorry, I forgot to heal up that Gengar. Alright, let's go. Speaking of Gengar. Okay. I bet you Lopunny's either going to hit the edge, or it's going to hit that 14 column, which is... or the 15 column. Yeah, like I said, so we already knew that column pretty much. I mean, we also know, for instance, that. But, you know, whatever. That's okay. Alright, come on. Come on. Middle... I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright. Greninja, help us out here. Not that I really need you here, to be honest. But that's okay. Alright. We have this. That's a 2. That's the 10. That's the 9. This stage isn't too bad. 4, 4. And there's the 1. 2. 1, 1, 1. There's the 2. 2 and a 1. And we have 5. There we go. Alright. That's a 2. That's a 5. That's the 7, 2, and 2. That's the 6, 2, 1, 1, 1. That's the 6. That's the 1. That's the 7. That's the 3. That's the 1. 7 and 3. 2. Well, there's the 7. Meant to do that because we have the 2 and a 4. 1 and 5. That's the 4. That's the 3. There's the 3. There we go. With that, we have drawn, and Mega Evolve Gengar. Alright. So that Mega Gengar is going to get the crown. Alright. Set Wobbuffet for Meowth. Alright, well we kind of need to do that, don't we? So you know what, let's actually do that quickly. Just because. Just because we're gonna do this. And I'm actually going to use Dragonite instead of Lopunny here, because in the long run it will actually help us out more. Because I meant to switch out Lopunny. Because there are obviously more, well, it's a bigger box. Okay. Alright, so let's do this. This might actually do the majority for us if it's in the middle. If it's in the corner, not so much. Well, whatever. Mawile can actually... sorry, Wobbuffet can help us out here. I know I just said Mawile. Alright. And Blaziken, come on, top left. Top left. Or you know what? Top left almost. Well, that is definitely top left almost. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Alright, there's the 8. There's a 2. There's a 2. Okay. 3 and 4. There's the 4, there's the 4, and there we go. Alright, so with that we have drawn Meowth. It's for the mural tile, if nothing else. We did use Cross Reveal. I wasn't even paying attention to that. But with that we're going to give Meowth the crown, and we're going to get that next mural tile, so that's kind of useful, I suppose. Alright. Use Luxray for Manectric, so that we have to do. You know what? Let's do that. Where is that Luxray? Here we go. Since we're going to slow down the clock, I really don't think I'm going to need the time stop. So, oh, the freeze time that is. So, Rising Reveal. Great. Guess Lopunny it is. 5 minutes? Hopefully we can do that then. Not that it really matters, it's more about, as long as we win, we're okay. If Lopunny doesn't help us out here, though, I'm probably gonna just do something else. Alright. Right, I mean, it's a 10 by 10. I don't know why I was thinking it was a 15 by 15 for a second. Whatever. Okay, so... Alright, that's a 1, and that's the 3, that's the other 1. Alright, so that's the 2 then. We have a 1 and a 1. Alright, that's the 3 then, so our 1 would be right here. We have a 3, 2. Alright, there's a 2 then. I don't know why I did that, I meant to do that. There's a 3, there's a 2, there's a 2. There we go. So with that, we have, well, draw Manectric. So we're going to get that mural tile, and Manectric is going to get the crown. So, there we go. Doing a little bit of backtracking, I suppose, but most of the backtracking is due to... Alright, I could get you the crown, but it's not really necessary since you don't need a mural tile at all. So, well, don't give a mural tile, should I say. Alright, so this one we want to, just for Mega Manectric, we want to set a grass type. Slash Reveal. And alright, so who has Slash Reveal? I know the ground and rock types do. You do. Good enough. Do you do it anytime or just at the beginning? Anytime. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. In that case, I'll go with Lopunny. Let's do this. Actually, no, I need a grass type, so I can't bring one of you. Huh. You know what, as long as I'm bringing, I guess, Meganium, I don't really need Metagross, do I? Okay. Alright, Lopunny, let's do this. Right in the middle. Right in the middle. Or on the end and not actually do anything. You know, same thing, I guess. Sort of. Alright. Right in the middle, please. Well, whatever. Come on. Bottom right. Bottom right. Or middle bottom right. Something like that. Good enough. Good enough. I will take that very well. Alright. Why did I do that? I want to use you. Because you will be helpful. Alright. Leave this. Alright. That's the 3. Finishing up that column. We have a 3. Alright. That's a 2. That's a 2. So we're going to have another 2 in here. Which is not going to include that space. It's going to be this. And we have a 1 right there. Okay. That's the 2. And that's the 3. Alright. What did I just do? I meant to do that. Alright, we have a 3 right here, so that's done. I didn't mean to do that. Alright. There's a 1 here somewhere. It's not there, obviously. Alright, that's a 1, that's a 1. That's a 1, making that a 5 and a 3. 4. Why did I do that? This row was already done to begin with. There's 1, 1. There's the other one. Alright, there's the 2. Okay, we have that, we have that. What am I doing? This is it. That's the game. Alright. There we go. You know, with Meganium, I guess it was a little easier than it should have been. Because I just, you know, was able to just guess. Or make educated guess. I didn't just, you know, pick random spaces and all. But with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Manectric. Alright, so Mega Manectric is going to get the crown. Alright. Move on to the next area. So this is a nice way of, you know, backtracking to areas we've already been. Alright, we already have the mural tile from you. Okay. So I guess this is what's next. So set Sharpedo. Use Diamond Reveal. Alright. Togekiss, where are you? Where is Sharpedo? I can probably use Sharpedo instead of... No, is Sharpedo a dark type then? We have Scatter Reveal. Alright, so... 10 at the beginning. You're probably not going to do anything for us then. It says bring Sharpedo, even though Sharpedo can't do anything. That's helpful. Alright, where is that Metagross? There we go. No reason to bring Dragonite or Lopunny since I'm using Togekiss. Alright, let's go. Alright. And let's let Blaziken do some work. Bottom right. Bottom right. Come on, Blaziken. Whatever, I'll take it. I'll still take it. Alright. 6, we need 3, and we need 3. 11 and 2. We need 7. 3 and 2. Alright, we need a 7 somewhere. Well, you know, that's a 9. That's an 8. So we have a 7 right there. 3 and 1. 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1. These are all like guaranteed columns. It's very convenient, really. Okay. Well, we know that's done there, so we have that. 4, 2, and 9. That's a 5. We have a 1 somewhere here. No, this would be it. Okay. Well, that's the 8. That's the 3. That's the 2. That's a 2 right there. So that's that 2. Oh, great. Okay. One, 1, 2. 2 right there. 2 right there. 3 right there. There we go. Don't even need Greninja there. Didn't even need Greninja. With that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Sharpedo. Alright, so Mega Sharpedo is going to get the crown. Alright. Do any of you have mural tiles that I still need? Nope. Okay, the Mega Scizor it is. Mega Scizor it is. Alright. I don't know why I had to keep repeating myself. Alright, bring at least 1 fire type and diamond reveal. So same team as last time then. Except I have no need for you. Okay. In fact, I'm gonna bring Infernape. Just because I mean business. No, I am not going to bring Infernape. I am going to bring Gengar because we have such a small time frame. What is the difference between the Mega Banette and just Banette? A bit confused about that. I don't know. Either way, let's do this. Use our diamond reveal, and then we'll use our whatever. Well, I'll use Gengar first. That actually wasn't too bad. Would have been nicer in the middle, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Alright, Blaziken, come on. Top left. Or, well, not on the edge, but top left off the edge. Or that. Whatever. Alright. Now's the time I think Greninja can help us out a little bit. Just a little bit, though. Alright, well in that case there's our 4. That's this column, the forest. Alright, we need... That's a 1, so that's the 4. Column done. Alright. Well, there's our 7. And our 1. Those are connected. There's the 8. There's the 1. Well, there's the 9, there's the 1. There's the 4 right there. That's this row. We have this. We have that. These rows are done. We have a 2 here. Finishing up that row. I meant to fill that in. Okay, I meant to fill that in, but you know, you know, sometimes I just accidentally have the wrong type of block up. What can I say? All right, so we're gonna have a 3 here, 2 there, and we're gonna need a 1 somewhere here. There we go. All right, we have 2 and a 1, 4 and a 2. That row's done. Well, in that case, there's our 2, and we have a 1 here, because we need the 3 here. That's a 3, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's the 5, that's the 6, that's the 3, that's a 4, 1 and 2, there's a 5, 2, there we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Scizor. So, Mega Scizor is going to get the crown. Alright, so far we're not getting any Mural Tiles for these Mega Evolutions, but, you know, we're making some progress. Definitely making progress, that's at least something. Alright. So Grovyle, do you have... No, we already have that from you. Well, 2 of them here. 2 or more dark types. Alright, you know what? Let's do that then. Set 2 or more dark types. So if all have a no Mural Tile, no reason to do it then. Okay. So I guess Scatter Reveal it is. You know what? Let's bring a Mega Evolution. Since, you know, we haven't done that yet. I'll go you, and I'll go... You're not going to be useful here, so we're going to you. And I'm gonna go with Dragonite. There's our two dark types. We're not bringing Gengar, but hopefully we shouldn't need it. Alright. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute, I don't need Dragonite because you have to do it at the start. My bad. Whatever. Does Hydreigon only do it at the beginning, or does it any time? Only at the start? Of course I bring all at the start Pokemon. I should have brought Gengar. As it turns out. Whatever. Alright, well in that case we have... That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's not a 2. So there's a 3. There's the 2. Okay, that column's done. Alright, that is there. We have a 2. 1, 3, and a 2. Okay. There's the 3, and we have a 1 somewhere here. Be here to make that 3. Okay. So that's a 1, that's a 1, And we need a 1 and a 2 somewhere. Well, the 1 has to be somewhere here. That'll have to be because I can't fit a 2 there. Alright. That's a 1 there. That's a 2. Alright. That can't be in a 3. Although, you know, the row's already filled. Alright, but that's the 2. That's a 3, so it fills in this row. We have a 1, 4. Okay. In that case, that's the 2, and we have a 1 somewhere here. Oh, shoot, that's the 2. I should have known that. I should have realized that. I am quite foolish, I suppose. Alright, that's the 1, that's a 2, and we have a 2 down here. Alright. So we're gonna have the 3 right there. We're gonna have... That's gonna be a 6. I guess it's there. That can't be here. This needs to be a 2. So we're going to have the 6 there. There's a 2. 3, and we need a 1 and a 2. Ah, there's the 2 then. Alright, so we're going to have a 5. 1, 1. There's the 1 there. 2. Those are connected for the 8. That's a 2. That's a 3, actually. And the 2 right there. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Alakazam. Alright. So Alakazam, oh, Mega Alakazam is going to get the crown. Fair enough. Alright. Next up, we're going after Mega Pidgeot, I guess. And at least 2 Pokemon, skills 5 or fewer times. Perfect. I don't need you. I don't need you. I could use you, but I'm gonna pass on you probably. Alright. Let's go with Gengar. How is Mega Gengar any better than Gengar other than you get 3 more? I guess you can use it 1.5 for time and a half as long. Still, it seems kind of pointless. Alright. At least 2 Pokemon, 5 or fewer skills. Alright, I'm gonna bring Blaziken and Infernape. With this team, we should... I mean... shouldn't have much of an issue. To be honest. If we use each Pokemon 1 time, we'll be good. In fact, I might not even need to use, I might not even need to use Blaziken or Infernape. I mean, I will, but... it's probably... I mean, they're gonna help either way. It's just a matter of probably not much. There's mostly an overlap there. Okay, Infernape, come on. Come on. Don't overlap, please. Of course you're gonna overlap, practically. Well, you're still actually gonna be helpful there. Okay, so that's that column. 2 right there. That column's done. Alright. Well, we know these are empty right there. Wait a minute, I don't want to make any random guesses because I don't have Metagross this time. Alright. Well, we have... you know what? I'm gonna use Greninja. Just to be safe. Alright. We know those are in the 6. Those are in the 8. Those are in the 4. That's the 6. That's the 10. 4 and 3. 2 and 1. There's the 5. That's a 4. 6. And... well, this column's done. Alright. Well, that can't be a 2, so that's the 1. Alright. Well, there's the 1 there. So that needs to be there, so that's there. So we have a 2 and a 1, 1 and 2. There's 2. Hold on. That's 2 and a 1. There's the 2. That's the 4 and the 1. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Pidgeot. Alright. So, Mega Pidgeot is going to get the crown. Awesome. Alright. Alright, let's just keep going then. At least 3 Pokemon, 5 or fewer skills. So basically, same deal as last time. Let's just heal up our Pokemon, because basically, this is legitimately the same deal as last time. Alright, except 3 minutes or less. Oi. Right in the middle. Come on, Dragon. If you're not in the middle, then you're not in the middle. What can I tell you? Alright, well, we have an extra 2 minutes here, thanks to Gengar. Due to the whole 5 or fewer skills, I can't use Metagross, so I'm gonna be just as paranoid as last time. Come on, bottom left. Well, a little too far down for me, but, you know, whatever. Fair enough. Okay, that's the 2. Alright, that's done. Alright, we have 5 here. That's a 2. Five right there. If that's in there. That's a 6 and a 4. Another 6. We have a 4 and a 1. We have this. That makes that a 4. We need a 6 right here. That's a 2. That's the 5. So there's a 1 right there. We're going to need a 1 here. So there's our 5 there. 5 here, 3 there. So we have this, we have that. 1, well, that's a 4. That's a 3, we need a 1 somewhere here. 5 and a 2. That's the 2. We have a 1 there. 2 right there. Make this a 4. That's a 2. 2 and a 2. 2 and a 3. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Mega Aerodactyl. Alright. So with that, Mega Aerodactyl is going to get the crown. You know what? Let's go check out some of these awards we have gotten. Alright, so. Master Traveler, unlocking all areas. Nice. First Mega Evolution, Novice Mega Evolution Trainer, Cross Reveal Master, because we're the master of the Cross Reveal apparently, which shouldn't be considered much of a master considering the fact that, you know, we're using skills that help us. So, you know, the real achievement is non-support Pokemon Master. That would actually mean more, I'm thinking. Alright. So, for this, autofix 3 or fewer times. I would think the way to do that would just not bring an autofixer. At least 4 Pokemon. Alright, you know what? Let's test that out. Does not bringing an autofixer let you automatically get that? I mean, it's not for a Mural Tile, so it's kind of like, I don't really care that much. But, let's go! Let's go. Alright. Dragonite, do your thing! Right in the middle. Right in the middle. Or in the corner. What are you gonna do? Alright. Come on. Top right. Top right. No, you can do it, Blaziken. Top right. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Alright, now, Infernape. Middle. Absolute middle. Absolute middle. Actually, the term absolute middle sounds kind of funny. That's actually not bad. Not even bad. Alright. So, 2 right there, 3 right there, and we're gonna have a 4 somewhere here. That's a 3, so we have a 4, including that somehow. We need a 3 in there, and the 2. So, we have that. We have a 2 right here. That can't be in the 3. So that's the 2. 1 right there. Greninja, no reason not to use you right now. Even though I don't really probably need you right this second, but, you know, whatever. Okay. So we have 3 here. That's a 2. That's a 2. Alright, we have a 4 there. Not a 5 there, but a 2 there. This column's done. We have... We need this to be in the 2, so we have to have a 1 right there. Meaning we have a 1 up here. So there's not a 1 there, so that's the 3. Okay, and we need the 1 there then. So that's a 3. Therefore we need a 1 somewhere here. Can't tell exactly which one it is though. Alright, well we're gonna need that 1 there. Making that the 3. So that has to be the 1, meaning we need a 5. Okay. So 2 and a 1. That's a 3. 2 and a 1. That's a 3. That's a 3 and a 1. There we go. Wow! Right on the 2-minute limit with the Gengar. We have completed drawing and a Mega Evolving Houndoom. Alright. There we go. So if you want to use autofix 3 or fewer times, just don't bring an autofixer. Pretty simple, I suppose. Alright, you know, let's just do one more. Alright. 2 Pokemon. So far, all of these Mega Evolutions are asking us to do the same thing. And I can't even really complain. Because, honestly, it's kind of easy. I mean, I wouldn't say easy per se, but, yeah, no, it's not too bad. It's definitely possible. Alright. So. Dragonite, help me out here. Right in the middle. Or, you know what, that's actually not too bad. It could be worse. Could be worse. Alright. Top left. Come on, Blaziken. Top left. I know you can do it. Whatever. Mid top left. Come on, Infernape. Mid top left. Left. That's not very helpful. Well, actually, it's more helpful than you'd think. Because that way we know. We know that now. Now we have a 3, we have a 1 somewhere. That's a 3, meaning we need those to be in the 3. There's our 4. That's a 2, so this is done. Alright, now we need... Well, this needs to be a 4. Making this the 5. Meaning we have a 1 at the bottom. Well, those are in the 6. So, that's the 4 there. That's a 4 and a 1. Alright. 2 1s. And 3 and a 1. So we're done with the bottom. Alright, we need that to be a 1, so that's the 2. We need a 1 and a 2. So that's done. 3, 1, 2. 2 and 2. I feel like I'm speculating now, though. You know that's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 2 right there. 2, 1, 1. There we go. So with that, we have drawn and Mega Evolved Pinsir. Alright, so Mega Pinsir is going to get a crown. So far, these Mega Evolutions are, well, really nice with the whole crown thing. So, next time, I guess there's 3 Mega Evolutions here. Do any of them... Well, I guess next time we'll be going after, it looks like Mega Steelix. Huh. That'll be fun, won't it? They don't seem to want to give us any mural tiles. But, next time, I guess Mega Steelix it is. Also, we have Steelix who wants to use as a Mega Evolve Pokemon. You know what? It's a 10 by 10. We do need to redraw Steelix with a Mega Evolution. Because of reasons. So, let's use Mega Sharpedo. Let's go. This is going to take up almost 2/3 of the board. It'd be hilarious if this actually finished the game for us without even doing anything. I can almost assure you it won't, but I'm just gonna stop the clock now, just because we can do this in 0 time. This is pretty much gonna make this easy mode for us. Let's face it. Alright, 2, there's the 3, 4, 3, 1 and 1. There we go. Alright. So, there we go. With that, we drew Steelix with the Mega Evolution. We didn't use Diamond Reveal because I wasn't paying attention, but we got the Aerodactyl, and that's what we were after. So, you know what? That's nice. Okay. So, next time, we are going to be, I guess, going after Mega Steelix and continue on our, I guess, marathon of Mega Evolutions. As for Aerodaktyl's, we still need 3 more. 2 more for this board, 1 more for this board. And then we will, I guess, have them all, and we can start doing them when we finish up with the Mega Evolutions. I'm sure there still are quite a few more Mega Evolutions to go. So I guess we do have a ways to go, but because we're only on Area 15, we're halfway through, but there are more in the later areas anyway, so, you know, it's gonna add up, I guess. But so far, so good. There might be another mythical Pokemon, I'm not positive. If there is, awesome. If there's not, you know, cool, we have him. Who knows? But thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time when we continue drawing these Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Picross. So, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.